Yo, what up, guys? Welcome to a brand new episode of Mind Your Business with the TikTok Bayless and Kenny Charles. I am the TikTok Bayless, aka Bryce, and I am joined alongside by.
Hey everybody, I am Kenny Charles. Today we have week 6 of the NFL. It is crazy. It is going by fast.
Yeah, zooming.
Yeah, we're a third of the way through, I guess. Crazy to think about. We have some NFL news that we'll do. Obviously, the Jets fired their coach. It's all Aaron Rodgers' fault, right? That's what the internet would love us to believe.
Yeah, that's what it actually is.
We have a little bit of trivia, but
there's news involving this guy right here.
Is there? I must have missed
that's the one. That's the one. It just came up.
Okay. I'm actually excited to hear what this is. We're going to get into trivia really quick. But yeah, let's do that. Are you ready for some trivia, Bryce?
Hell yes.
All right. We're going to do receiving touchdowns, top 10 wide receivers. Do you have any
year?
This year.
Okay.
Season.
This season, Chris Godwin is top 10, right?
Tied for 6. Yes. So there's a crap ton of wide receivers tied for 6. So that's what we're going to be doing. He does make that list, but so we got one.
Because he's got 3.
Yep. There's a lot of
Malik
people.
Malik
Neighbors, yes. He is on the list as well.
Xavier Worthy.
Is he on the receiving? Or did that one count as a rushing? Let's look. I think he is not on the list. He did not make the list. No, he is not.
Alec Pierce. Is Alec Pierce one of the ones with 3 touchdowns? He is.
Alec Pierce. He is, yes. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Do you know any
my
of the
guy,
people?
Shout out to my guy, Alec Pierce.
Do you know anybody?
Jamar Chase?
Jamar Chase, yeah, he's tied for number 1 with 5. Do you know who's tied with him?
Is it counting tight ends as well?
It does count tight ends in here. There's not a tight end with 5, though.
Okay, I was going to say Isaiah Likely seems like he has 3 or something.
He does have 3. Isaiah Likely does have 3.
The
most underrated wide receiver of the last 11 years, I think, is the other one with 5. He has to be a lock for Hall of Fame. He's 1,000-yard wide receiver every single year.
Oh, Mike Evans.
Yeah. I think he's having like the most underrated wide receiver season. People are just like, oh, yeah, it's Mike Evans. Who cares?
It's because Mike Evans does like 1,000 yards every single year that nobody expects much.
That's exactly right. And we have a rookie.
God.
The rookie.
God. Yeah. Oh, God. It's not Roma Dunze.
No, it is down in Arizona.
Marvin Harrison Jr. Duh.
Yeah, he's
going off.
Third. With the best wide receiver in the league is also tied for 3rd.
Jay Jettis. Justin Jefferson.
And then the best wide receiver for the New York Jets is tied for 3rd.
Alan Lazard. It's Alan Lazard.
It is Alan Lazard. We'll go through a couple more right here. We got DJ. We got Jalen Naylor. I think that's an interesting thing for the Vikings there.
Yeah, he's got 3. I had him for the first 3 weeks of my fantasy team in my dynasty league. He got me 3 touchdowns for the first 3 weeks, and I kept him on the bench all 3 games. So.
Oh, of course. We got recently injured Nico Collins. I can't say this guy's name for the Bengals. Levias is what it looks like. That's not how you say it, though.
Andre Yelchavas.
Yeah. However you said that. That is correct. Brian Thomas, Drake London, Kittle. Wicks has 3 for the Packers. I thought that was pretty interesting. Quietly, I didn't even notice. And somebody that I think most of the NFL thought was left for dead after last season, Quentin Johnson.
Yeah, Quentin Johnson has 3, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well. So we were going to get into 2 little news bits here. We got Saleh, obviously done it with the Jets. I don't know. How do you feel about that? Do you think it matters? Do you think it'll help the team? It hurts the team? What are you thinking here?
So before we talk about the Jets, I just wanted to give thoughts to everybody in Florida right now because they're getting an absolute shit storm right now, and it's absolute insanity. Yeah, and then I think there's another one coming on the way. So this is hurricane season at its finest right now, and it's not looking good. And the other one, it's Tigers baseball. Yes, my Phillies got eliminated last night, but also the Tigers are still in. They're 1 game away. They're tied at 2 right now. It's on my TV above me right now. Tiger baseball, baby.
Okay. All right. We got a trash baseball team still in it. That's good to know.
Uh,
I didn't say
but
that. People in Detroit, I like you guys.
but now back to Robert Saleh and the Jets.
Yeah.
People think that Aaron Rodgers had a decision on this. If
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers truly had something to do with this, why did Nathaniel Hackett get demoted today?
Yeah.
And why was he not named head coach?
That's what I was going to be
Why
saying.
was he not named head coach on Tuesday when it happened? Because he had nothing to do with it. He didn't.
Right.
I think I get the firing, but why now? Why do you fire him now? Why don't you just let him try to work this out? Because I still think this team is talented enough. They were within 6 points of beating the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. I watched that game. I got up at 6:30 in the morning here.
I mean, it was Rodgers.
It was. He had 2 horrible first half interceptions, but then he became Aaron.
Terrible.
Yeah, that pick 6 to AVG was rough. It was horrible.
Yeah,
to the point where also the Jets have more issues than just Aaron Rodgers. You mean to tell me that they have Breece Hall and Braylon Allen and they can't get their run game going? They can't?
Yeah, I think the line is better than we were hoping for there. So.
Yeah, that line is awful. That line still hasn't really gotten any better. And it's caused Aaron Rodgers to kind of be the sole offensive guy. Guy doing anything on the Jets offense because Garrett Wilson and him just haven't built a connection. It's really just Alan Lazard and Tyler Conklin that are doing anything in a Jets uniform, not named Aaron Rodgers right now.
I agree. Yeah, Wilson looks good here and there, but then they just look like they're not together. Kind of. There's something off. What will be the news with the man on your jersey here? I'm extremely.
Okay. So I saw this that ESPN. Cam Newton is back in the NFL, but not for reasons you think he is. ESPN and Cam Newton came to an agreement to make him one of the hosts of First Take alongside Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp. And he debuts tomorrow. On First Take.
Goodness. Well, good for him. I don't want to be... I'm going to hold my tongue. I'll see what happens before... I'm going to have a judgment next week for sure. I'm going to be watching every clip.
I feel like I'm going to have to watch it now because I haven't watched First Take in the longest time. After Max Kellerman left, it kind of fell off, and now Shannon Sharp is there, so it's kind of...
Yeah. I watch Nightcap or whatever that is every once in a while, but I don't... Or what's that called? With Ocho Cinco and Shannon. But...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But not religiously. But I will see what... I mean, Cam Newton says the wildest things sometimes, so...
I don't know. The guy who really says the wildest stuff is who I'm named after on TikTok. Yeah. But he's retired now. Rest in peace to his career.
He is doing something though. I think he has his own platform he's working on.
He still has his like radio show and like sports show and stuff, but he doesn't really do. He's not with Undisputed anymore because he kind of tanked that show with him and Shannon Sharp getting into it, with him discrediting Shannon Sharp every step of the way. But so now we're gonna have Stephen A., Cam Newton, and Shannon Sharp on First Take. Let's go!
I mean,
Detroit Tigers baseball today. Cam Newton on First Take tomorrow. Let's go! Let's go!
Good for Cam Newton. I'll see how it goes before I make too much of a judgment. We're going to get into Week 6 here. Massive game coming up right now.
It's on my other TV.
Game. I am very, very excited for this game. I am praying for the 49ers to figure this out. Otherwise, I'm going to look really bad on a lot of platforms because I had the 49ers going to the Super Bowl. And if they lose this game, I feel like I'm going to just kind of hide. I'm going to hide. So I'm going with the 49ers. Mr. TikTok Bayless, please say you're with me on this one.
No. I believe in the Geno Smith hype train. There's a reason why he's the number one fantasy quarterback right now, because he is just that damn good. He went off against the Lions. He had 400 passing yards 2 weeks ago against Detroit. Granted, he didn't look good on Sunday, but he still went off against Detroit. So Geno Smith is looking good. And divisional matchups are always fun. They're always tough. I expect this to be an absolute, as good old JR used to say, slobber knocker. We're going to have the 49ers being upset by the Seattle Seahawks, even though one's 3-2, one's 2-3. But
yeah, I mean,
Seattle upsetting San Francisco seems like an upset at this point. So.
I feel like it still is because the 49ers, I think they should be the favorite, but who knows? I was really excited to see the Bears. Caleb Williams looked good. I think he looked good, personally. I think he looked pretty good. They are primed to fight the Lions now, just as I had predicted. Just Caleb Williams isn't playing as I had predicted, but they should destroy what is left of this Florida team. Unfortunately, yes, Florida is going through a lot right now. Even more so because they have the Jaguars representing them up in northern Florida there. So I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to be worthy of that contract at this point. I wonder, do you throw Mac Jones in by the end of the season just to let Trevor Lawrence take a rest and, I don't know, reset? I don't know what's wrong down there in Jacksonville, but I think Chicago walks away with this pretty lopsidedly. What do you think?
So I just want to say this, that everybody calling Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Bo Nix busts, after the last 3 weeks, they're all looking pretty damn stupid. Caleb Williams,
two out of ridiculous.
Jaden Daniels is top 5 in MVP voting right now. He is top 5 in MVP voting right now. It won't last.
Freaking ridiculous.
It won't last, but he looks incredible.
Yeah.
I think I said that Bo Nix or Michael Penix or Bo Nix would have been the best quarterback in this draft, not named Caleb Williams. And right now, Jaden Daniels is making me eat my damn words because Jaden Daniels, they're 4-1 right now, and people were calling them frauds at 3-1, but they put an absolute beat down on the Cleveland Browns, and 42-14 in a game that I was forced that I had to watch because Fox. That's the game that Fox had on for the first slate of games. So yeah, but Caleb Williams is starting to figure it out in the NFL, and everybody who's calling him a bust is looking stupid now. And I'm going to have to go with the remnants of, or with the Chicago Bears beating the remnants of Jacksonville. And I don't think, because Trevor Lawrence looked good last week, I don't necessarily think that Trevor Lawrence is as big of the problem in Jacksonville as Doug Peterson is. Doug Peterson is taking the Mike McCarthy route where and even in the NBA, he's taking the Doc Rivers route where he is he's viewed as this amazing coach because he won this Super Bowl all these years ago. And he's really done nothing since then. You look at Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy did nothing after the Super Bowl. He's doing nothing in Dallas right now. You're looking at even Doc Rivers back in 2008 won his only NBA championship as a head coach. But people forget. I mean, that Doc Rivers is the only NBA coach to blow multiple 3-1 leads in the playoffs. Like, people just don't take that into account. And I think Doug Peterson is becoming that because, yes, Doug Peterson is still viewed as this top tier coach because he has a Super Bowl. And I don't think he's as good as everybody thinks he is. I don't. I didn't even think he was that good in Philly. I think it was just a miracle run because they were riding the momentum of Nick Foles and what he had. That without Nick Foles, Doug Peterson would not be a Super Bowl champion head coach right now.
I think you're right. I think I also missed to bring something up. Robert Saleh fired after poor starts this season. There is a very highly respected coach out on the West Coast that is not having a good season. Has failed multiple times when it matters. Is there any chance during this season or at the end you think that he has moved on from?
No. Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan are both safe. They're not leaving. Yeah. They're not.
Yeah.
I think the replacement for the Jets is going to come in the offseason, and it's either going to be one of two people, Mike Vrabel, or it's going to be Bill Belichick. One of those two. It's going to be.
Imagine Bill Belichick leading Aaron Rodgers against the Patriots? That would be fucking epic. Fucking epic.
And I feel like I feel like it'll be like Tom Brady giving the big up yours to the Patriots. It'll be like Bill Belichick giving the biggest FU to the New England Patriots. I was the problem in New York. Tom Brady needed me. Nah, I'm going to win a Super Bowl without Tom Brady.
Yeah. I think it'd be great. We got Tampa Bay versus New Orleans. The Saints lost their quarterback, Derek Carr, not going to be there. The Buccaneers playing kind of up and down football over for the first 5 weeks of the seasons. I think they've looked better than I anticipated. But if Derek Carr was playing, I probably would have gone with the Saints. I'm going to go with the Bucs because of the quarterback change. But who do you have?
I think that people are sleeping on Spencer Rattler as the starting quarterback for the Saints. They drafted Spencer Rattler as a potential replacement for Derek Carr.
Yeah, technically. Okay. Do you think he's? Do you think he is
that being said,
quarterback? No,
not right now. Not right now. He's not even ready yet. Okay. They brought him in with a 5th round pick with hopes of him starting down the line for Derek Carr.
Yes.
He's going to be the eventual successor to Derek Carr. However, I don't think he's ready yet. Okay. And New Orleans doesn't have a stop really for the best receiving duo in the league right now in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Yeah, and they are back. 4 years ago, it was them. Yeah. And they are back.
Yeah. And we are seeing just how good Chris Godwin can be. We are seeing why there was rumors that he was going to leave and become a number 1 receiver elsewhere because he is just that damn good. Yeah, they have 2 number 1 receivers, and they have another underrated receiver in Sterling Sharp. Sterling Shepard, not Sterling Sharp. Not Sterling Sharp.
It is okay.
Not Sterling Sharp. We were talking Shaded Sharp earlier, so Sterling Sharp was in my head.
Price is all mixed up. Yeah, I think you're right, though. I think that wide receiving core is legit. Just on this team they're facing, Godwin would be above Olave, I think, in overall what he's putting up and what he's doing. So that's an impressive thing. Let's see who we have up next. I'm excited for this game. The Ravens have come back after a very poor start to the season. Lamar is looking insane, but we have the person that does not want to be considered to be the next Lamar, Jane Daniels, coming into town. I think I'll let you go first here. Who do you have? Do you have an upset?
I feel like whatever Jaden Daniels does, he's going to be compared to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that is just how it is.
Although I do think he is a better passer than Lamar Jackson, and that's not a knock on Lamar.
Passes this year from Lamar?
And that's not a knock on Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson, if I'm fully confident that if they took away Lamar Jackson's legs, he could beat a team with his arm. He could. Yeah. I am that confident. But that being said, he did. He threw for like 400 yards and 5 touchdowns on the Cincinnati Bengals or something?
That was the best game ever.
That's one of the best games I've ever watched in my entire life. And what's it called? It was even crazier than the 49ers Rams a few weeks ago.
It just makes me a little bit happy that, Burrow's playing better than I would have anticipated, but they're losing just as I anticipated. But, so I'm guessing...
They also had a tough start to the schedule. But that being said, I think the Ravens are going to take down the Commanders. If there is a team that can do it, it's a defense that doesn't allow yards. They don't allow touchdowns. They just don't allow anything. They don't. And we had that huge, weird, freak game last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. But this defense made Patrick Mahomes not look great. He was outdueled in week 1. He was. It's because of the elite quality of this Ravens defense. And people want to think I don't know what I'm talking about when I say the Steelers defense is overrated. Look, they allowed a Colts team that had to use 2 quarterbacks. They allowed 30 points. They allowed 30.
That could have been a fluke. It could have been a fluke.
Yeah, but this defense, I know Steelers fans, and Steelers fans are obnoxious. Oh my God, the Steelers are. Mike Tomlin is the most overrated coach in the entire league. He's the most overrated coach in the entire league. Yes, I think you're 8-9.
But
you can go 8-9, 9-8. You know who you're sounding like? You're sounding like Jeff Fisher. You are sounding like Jeff Fisher. That's exactly what Jeff Fisher did. That's exactly what Jeff Fisher did in Tennessee and in St. Louis. That's exactly what he did.
I think by the time he got to St. Louis, he was going 4-12. He started.
But in Tennessee, it was 8-8, 9-7 every single year, and that's what Mike Tomlin is. That's what Mike Tomlin is.
A little higher, but yeah, I think you're right. Tomlin has a Super Bowl though, so he does have that.
Back when I was not even in high school yet. I wasn't even in high school when I wasn't even in high school when. Well, he won when Barack Obama was president. He was in Barack Obama's first term the last time the Steelers won a damn Super Bowl. Like, again, he's going alongside the same route of Mike McCarthy, Doc Rivers, Doug Peterson, in the sense that he hasn't done anything since he won the Super Bowl. He hasn't.
I mean, that's
John
fair.
Harbaugh might be the same way too. He might be the same way too. We're getting a lot of coaches that are becoming that.
What happens? I think Bill Belichick and Andy Reid have ruined the what people think of what coaches should be. But that is what I'm thinking. I actually have a big upset here. I think the Ravens are going to get surprised by a Commanders team that is just they're playing together. They're just playing to have fun. There was no expectations, and they're just running with it. I'm very excited to see what happens here. I think if Jaden Daniels pulls this off, he'll be a top 2 MVP candidate for the next couple of weeks, and then I think by the end of the season, the pressure will start getting to him. But I think I'm gonna go with the Commanders here. I think they have.
He also hasn't played the Eagles or the Cowboys yet, so which are the two top hitters. No, he hasn't. He hasn't played the Eagles or the Cowboys yet.
Well, the Cowboys. We'll actually. Will we get to the Cowboys? No, they're not playing, right?
Yeah, they're playing. They're playing the Lions.
Oh boy, they are. Who's on bye this week? Do you know off the top of your head, or no idea?
The Dolphins are on bye.
Okay.
Let me check. Hold on. I can pull this up real fast.
All right, and then I'll talk a little bit about Green Bay here against the Cardinals. We have Kyler Murray. 1 week he's playing well. Then he looks like he kind of falls apart. The Packers, I don't know what to think about the Packers. Their record obviously indicates that they are a potential playoff team. When I watch them play, though, I feel like they are the most mid team I've ever watched play a game of football. And it could be who they're playing against, but I don't see championship playoff level football when I watch them play. I'm still picking them to beat the Cardinals because it's the Cardinals, but I'm not afraid if anybody is playing the Packers, I'm not afraid to pick the other team. I'm still going to pick the Packers this week, but they're not somebody I'm like, oh, that's a very good team right now.
The Tigers are up 3-2. No, the Tigers are up 3-2 right now. But I actually kind of disagree with you about the Packers. I do. Because the Packers, look, without Jordan Love, they went 2-0. They went 2-0. When they were expected to be absolutely terrible, they dog-walked the Colts and the Titans. But still, a backup, they were playing a team with starters, and Malik Willis ended up going 2-0. And then they came back.
Levis, unfortunately, is not him. I have to let that go at this point. I mean, they played 2 bad teams, Bryce. They played.
Are the Colts a bad team though? Are they?
Yes, they are a bad team. They are significantly. Are they?
I don't think so. But hold on. Didn't they almost beat the 5-0 Minnesota Vikings? Didn't they beat the Rams? The Rams are better than their 1-4 record. They're better than their 1-4 record. The Rams are
not without those wide receivers. They're not.
The Rams are on bye. The Dolphins are on bye. The Chiefs and the Vikings are on bye. So
the Ravens
who the bye teams are.
Or the I mean, okay. So you think that the Packers are good? That's what you're telling us. That is what you're telling us.
I think the Packers are good, and I will agree with you that I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender, but they're close. They're close if they can figure it out, because Josh Jacobs is looking incredible. They're also 3-2 right now without AJ Dillon, so they don't really have a backup running back right now, and they're 3-2.
It's off the top of my head. Are you picking the Packers over the Bucks in the playoffs? If we're the Packers,
I'm picking
going down to Tampa?
I'm picking the Packers over the Bucks in the playoffs right now.
Okay.
Only because the Packers defense is better than the Bucks defense right now.
What about the Bears? If they had to go into Chicago in the playoffs, do you think they'd beat them?
Yes, because Caleb Williams is a rookie.
Okay. I
And
wouldn't.
plus the Packers, always, treat the Bears like they're their child. So
All right. I
they're
mean,
the Bears' children. So
did you
they're
pick
the Packers' children.
I think,
No, the Packers are winning.
okay. Two terrible teams here. We have the 2-3 Colts, the 1-3 Titans. I have to pick the Titans just because I'm a homer. There's nothing nice I can say about how the Titans are playing football. They're playing like dog shit. The Colts, they did win. I don't know.
They beat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. They lost against Trevor though, right? Yes, they did. Yeah, they lost against Trevor. So I don't know. I'm not excited about either of these teams moving forward. We were both excited to start the season. I'm out. I don't want to watch the Titans play football right now.
I'm actually still excited about Colts football, and I think Will Levis is going to turn it around.
Price is
And
just
I
trying
think
to
both
be positive.
no both quarterbacks I think turn their season around this game. I think both of them do because Anthony Richardson's back. He's going to play, and I think this is the game that if both of them want to get their seasons back on track, this is the game to do it because both teams are a lot better than their records are showing. Both of them are.
They both
They're
desperately need a win. Which one
but
is
that's
winning
the
it?
problem. The
Yeah.
Colts. I think the Colts are built. They're a better built team right now. Granted, the Titans have the better receiving core, but the Colts are the better built team because they have a better running game. Their defense overall is better. Their offensive line is better. I think their quarterback play is better because Anthony Richardson and Joe
I'm not even gonna
Flacco, I
disagree.
think, is a better option. Granted, Jonathan Taylor and Trey Sermon, neither one of them I don't think are going to play. I don't think it matters. I don't. Because here's what they could do. They could honestly have dual quarterback sets like Tulane did the other day. And just, yeah. And I think they could be perfectly fine. I think you have Anthony Richardson and Joe Flacco trade off while Jonathan Taylor and Trey Sermon are hurt. Like you have like quarterback design runs for Anthony Richardson.
And Pittman is up too, right?
Pittman's out, but you know who's going to step up? Alec Pierce out of Cincinnati. And Adonai Mitchell. Rookie of the year, Adonai Mitchell. Let's go. No.
So I can see some.
Jaden Daniels has locked in Rookie of the Year. I'm already saying that now. He's locked in Rookie of the Year.
I think the only person that can compete now is going to be Marvin Harrison. That is the only shot.
Or Malik Neighbors. One of those two.
Do you think Malik Neighbors can continue? I just am waiting for that team to fall apart. I have no idea. The NFL, I hate the NFL this year. Between the Giants and the Vikings, what the fuck is going on?
Malik Neighbors has been so good, despite the fact that Daniel Jones is his quarterback.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense.
Daniel Jones is actually playing decent football right now because Wan'Dale Robinson is looking like the first-round receiver he was drafted to be, and Malik Neighbors is him. Malik Neighbors is just that damn good right now.
I mean, it's almost as like the Sam Darnold for the Vikings. Like, what the fuck is going on in the NFL? It doesn't make any sense.
The Jets are the problem.
Cute little kitty.
The Jets are the problem.
Yes. Houston, 4-1. We're going against the Patriots. I would love to find a way for the Patriots to win this game. There's no chance, though. CJ Stroud, he's going to try to get himself in the MVP conversation here. I think the Texans are going to walk away with this in maybe the biggest blowout out of the weekend. I think the Patriots, sooner or later, they just kind of have to give up on the season. They have their rookie quarterbacks starting. I don't think it's going to be good. What do you have here
Gino
first?
just threw a pick.
Oh, did he? Well, the game
Gino just threw a pick, yeah. Yeah, it's in the first quarter right now.
Okay.
It was the first drive of the game. But the Texans have glaring issues. They're not as good of a team as people originally thought they would be at the beginning of the year.
I think almost every team. Yeah.
That
keep going.
team, even the Chiefs, the Chiefs look human. They don't look good despite being 5-0. They are a few calls away from being 1-4 right now. I think you can honestly say that had a few calls not have gone their way, they would be 1-4 right now, maybe 2-3.
Yeah,
but
I don't disagree. But it's the Chiefs; they're going to get those calls.
Yeah, they will. But I think Drake May starting his first game, there's going to be a lot of growing pains with him because we saw him already. He didn't look great. Kendrick Bourne is coming back from an ACL tear. Their number one receiver right now is, I don't know if you know, I know who it is. Do you know who it is? Can you name him off the top of your head?
No, I would assume it was.
It's Demario Douglas. Demario Douglas is their number one receiver right now. They also have Jalen Polk. They have KJ Osborne, who Vikings fans absolutely love KJ Osborne. That's sarcasm, by the way.
KJ last year looked decent. I mean, the team just doesn't look good. The Patriots team doesn't look good.
They're not. And their defense is the only reason they're not an absolute dumpster fire, horrible, garbage piece of trash NFL team. Their defense is keeping them in games. Yeah. And I think that they should have started. Yeah. Antonio Gibson and Ramondre Stevenson have both looked good this year. And I think they should have started Drake May from day one, like Caleb Williams did, like Jaden Daniels did, like J.J. McCarthy was supposed to do, like Bo Nix did. But I think that they played it kind of smart with not letting him get thrown into the fire right away. Because we see scenarios that a quarterback gets thrown into the fire right away, a.k.a. Josh Rosen, his rookie year in Arizona. He gets thrown into the fire with a team that has absolutely nothing, plays so bad, they get the number one pick, they move on from Josh Rosen. I don't necessarily think that Josh Rosen was the problem there, but I think they played themselves in the number one pick. Yeah. But I think the Texans are going to win. I think, glaring issues aside, CJ Stroud is just too damn good. He is hiding all the Texans' issues right now. He is, without CJ Stroud, this team might actually be 0-5.
Well, that might be strong. Those wide receivers, Nico, while he was playing, I think he could have got them at least
1-4, 1-4 or 2-3, because Nico Collins, Tank Dell, but is Nico Collins and Tank Dell that good if CJ Stroud isn't there? Because we saw Nico Collins with Davis Mills, and he was an average receiver. CJ Stroud comes along, and then all of a sudden Nico Collins is the greatest receiver and the most dominant receiver to ever play the game of football.
That's fair.
So,
we do have a 1-4 team here. And the most surprising 1-4 team, I think, the Cleveland. Second most surprising team. But against the Philadelphia Eagles, the Browns look like trash. Deshaun Watson just walking off last week. Hilarious. I can't believe that happened.
I watched that game. There was a little miscommunication. That's why he walked off. There were too many men on the field.
And people could have just believed it a little longer because it was, it was pretty funny. But they don't look good. Nothing about that team looks good. That defense was supposed to be the best defense in the NFL. They thought the run game and the wide receivers were going to be top 10, and they look like trash. The offensive line hasn't looked as good as it's supposed to be, and Purdy got a first down there, it looked like. But I'm going with the Eagles to walk away. Just walk away with this victory.
There's a lot. Deshaun Watson is taking all the blame on the offense when I don't think Deshaun Watson is as big of a problem as people think he is, when he has receivers who he glaringly hits in the hands wide open and they drop. Amari Cooper has a drop issue this year. Jerry Jeudy is exactly who everybody thought he was this year.
But that's
He's not good. He's not good. Jerry Jeudy is not good. Yeah, he can get open. You know who else could get open? John Ross. John Ross could get open. Yeah, and there's a reason why John Ross is on the Eagles practice squad right now. David Njoku has been hurt for pretty much the entire season. He looked good when he came back. If the Browns can figure out their drop problems, I think Deshaun Watson is going to play a lot better because he's completing a decent % of his passes if they're not dropped. I think the Browns receivers are leading the league in drop passes right now. They are leading the league in drop passes by a wide margin right now. And they're really missing Nick Chubb as well, because I think everybody thought Jerome Ford was going to come in and be this absolutely amazing running back when they're a run first team and they have to pass right now because Jerome Ford is not filling the shoes. Deontay Foreman is not filling the shoes that Nick Chubb has.
But they didn't have Nick Chubb
So
last
they're
year.
not filling Nick Chubb's shoes. Yeah, but they also had Kareem Hunt last year. Kareem Hunt
who is back to being Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, he's Kareem Hunt again. Yeah. Like,
so
they were dumb for letting Kareem Hunt walk because we're seeing how good he is in Kansas City right now. He is looking like prime Kareem Hunt again.
He walked in and was just like, yeah, here I am, guys.
He said, I don't even need the playbook. I already know what I'm going to do. And then he took the Chiefs' backfield before he even took a snap. He was already there, and he said, I'm the guy now. Like, there's nothing you can do.
He looks great.
But
so are you going to pick Cleveland?
I'm not going to pick Cleveland.
Oh, man.
The problem is, if they couldn't get a win with the
Jordan Mason, just look at him go. Look at that man go. What is going on here?
If they couldn't get a win in any of their last 3 games to make them 4-1, this next schedule they have, this next patch of games they have is rough because they have the Steelers twice, they have the Ravens twice, they have the Bengals twice, I think all in the next 8 weeks. I think they have the Chiefs at some point in the next 8 weeks.
Yeah, Bengals, this Ravens, is going to be Chargers, Saints, Steelers, Broncos, Steelers, Chiefs.
Yeah.
And then back to
that
the Bengals.
Is a rough patch of games.
Dolphins, Ravens. The rest of their season. They have the Dolphins for an easy game and maybe the Broncos, but the Broncos are playing better than people anticipated. So,
Tua is probably going to be back by week 17. So
can you believe that? He's coming back, it looks like. He is coming back.
Yeah, they said he may be back by week 10 or week 8. They said he may be back by week 8.
Yeah.
So
just in a couple of weeks here, which they obviously need him, but
they do.
Did you see that 64-yard rush by Jordan Mason?
No, I didn't.
Okay. But you might be right. Maybe CMC is irrelevant. Maybe.
Yeah, they don't need him. They don't need him. Look at that.
The run game isn't the problem.
It's not. It's Brandon Ayuk is the problem. But.
Yeah, and I was right there with you.
What you and I have been saying. That Brandon Ayuk.
At this point, did you pick the Eagles?
Yeah, no, I'm picking the Eagles. Okay. I think
we have
this is the game Jalen Hurts is going to get back on track because I think A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are both going to be back this game. So
I think A.J. Brown said he was back on his Instagram or Twitter. I saw that somewhere. So and that makes a big difference. Having your wide receivers obviously makes a difference. We have Los Angeles Chargers started off the season kind of hot. We know how it's gone. Denver Broncos playing way better than people anticipated. I think I'm going with the Denver Broncos here. They're playing just fabulous football. They're fun to watch. I kind of hope that they challenge the Chiefs here by week 10. We'll find out. And I'm not a big believer in what the Chargers do on offense, but it's working out overall for them. Obviously, Quentin Johnson tied for 6th in the NFL with his touchdowns. I just don't think that's sustainable. So I'm going to go with the Broncos.
I have to be a believer now. These are my 2 dynasty quarterbacks, Justin Herbert and Bo Nix. They're my 2 dynasty quarterbacks. So I have to be a believer in them. I think that with how hot, even though the Broncos are playing insanely hot after an 0-2 start, they're going to come down to earth because Bo Nix is Bo Nix is incredible, but I remember telling everybody early in the podcast, I think 2nd episode of the podcast, this isn't the Broncos' year. And they're playing a team who they're experienced. That defense is healthy right now, and they're looking pretty damn good. That defense is. And rookie quarterbacks against elite defenses, there are exceptions, struggle. And this is a borderline elite defense that the Broncos are playing against. So. And the Broncos have an underrated defense, better defense than people originally thought. But I think
is the best corner in the league.
Yeah. And Quentin Johnston or whoever the number 1 receiver is going to be on lock. So this might be a game where Justin Herbert this might be the Josh Palmer breakout game. This might actually be the Josh Palmer. Although Riley Moss is looking pretty good. He's looking pretty underrated right now as their second corner. So it might be a Hayden Hurst game. It might actually be a Hayden Hurst game. And I think this is a game where the Chargers really could have benefited by having a receiving back. I think Austin Eckler would be exceptional right now for the Chargers, but they can't bring him back.
They should have got somebody.
Yeah, they should have got at least a receiving back because J.K. Dobbins is great, but he's not really a pass catcher. Gus Edwards is not a pass catcher at all. And I think this is a game where it's a heavy Hayden Hurst passing game and a J.K. Dobbins masterclass. Okay. I honestly think that's what it's going to be.
So Bryce has the Chargers here. Totally fine. They're going to lose, but it's fine. We have Devonte not playing a quarterback switch here in Oakland or Las Vegas in Oakland. Oh boy, I went back in time too. And we have the Steelers. Is Russell Wilson healthy now? I think I saw that.
He is, but I don't think they've announced that they're thinking about making a quarterback change yet.
No, I don't think they would either. But if the first time that he craps the bed, I think there'll be a push to get Russ in there. But right now, there's no reason to do that. I think Pittsburgh walks away with this. I don't even think it's actually that close. I think there's no options there in Las Vegas. What are you going to do? No. So they want to lose, I think.
Yeah, I think they want to lose because now with Aiden O'Connell, we're going to see. I don't think Gardner Minshew plays another game for the Raiders. I don't think. I think it was a nice little 5-game run for Gardner Minshew, but I think we finally seen a world where it's Aiden O'Connell's team for the rest of the year again, kind of like it was last year and the year before.
Coming back. So
no. Here's a question I want to bring up to you. People think that Devonte Adams is going to the Jets. Do you see the Chargers making an offer for Devonte Adams?
If you are a team that needs, whether you're the Chiefs, the Chargers, any team that needs a wide receiver, you make a second or third round offer instantly, don't you? Like, he is still
I think the Chargers would give up a second in a heartbeat for Devonte Adams because you put a team that is ready to compete right now like the Chargers are. I think you give them Devonte Adams. I think they're leaps and bounds the best team in the AFC West. I think they are. Because the Chiefs look beatable this year because Rashee Rice is done for the year. Hollywood Brown is done for the year. Isaiah Pacheco is supposed to be 6 to 8 weeks, but I think it may be longer. Travis Kelce
right now there's no reason to bring him back early, so.
Yeah, they're 5-0, so they don't care. They're going to win. Unless something happens, they're winning the AFC West by default. They are.
Yeah.
Because the Raiders have no goddamn chance of beating the Chiefs right now. Although Aiden O'Connell is 1-0 against the Chiefs, so.
Oh wow! So, I mean, do you think there's a chance that Devontae goes to Kansas City though? Like, would the NFL
absolutely not
fall apart?
No. The Raiders would never do that. I think the Chiefs could tell them, "We will give you our next 10 first round picks."
Of course, they would do that.
Hold on. I think the NFL would never have a problem with that because anything to make the Chiefs look better. But I don't think the Raiders would do that at all. The Raiders would be like, absolutely not. You're insane. I don't care if you're giving me the next 10. I'm not doing it. I'm not making you the evil empire. It's not happening. It's not.
There you are, though.
They are, but the Bills already did it by giving them Xavier Worthy. They don't need another free gift from especially a division rival. They don't.
At this point, though, is Devontae going to be seen as like a little bit of a bad person in the locker room? He's tried to get out of 2 different teams now. I don't know.
If Stephon Diggs isn't really,
I think there's a reason Stephon Diggs only has a 1-year contract. I think there is a reason.
I think he's loving playing with CJ Stroud right now. I think he is loving it right now.
He also loved playing with Josh Allen for 2 years and before everything fell apart.
Yeah. Here's my thing. I think, but the Vikings and the Bills were different because they didn't really have any other receivers outside of. Like, they had no chance. This Texans team looks like an actual title contender because the Bills window, I think, is closed. But Maybe not. Maybe not. They're looking a lot better than people thought this year, but
Yeah, they
that's
are.
beside the point.
We'll get
I
to that in a
think,
couple of games here.
yeah.
But so yeah, I don't know. I think that Devonte needs to go to a contender. I don't know if the Chargers are a contender though. So
I don't know if I said who the winner of that game is. I think the Steelers are going to
I
walk
think
away
we
with that game.
insinuated.
The Steelers
I
are going
think
to
we
walk away with
insinuated.
that game. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to
So
walk away with that game. So
we probably don't have to talk too much about this. We have the worst team in the NFL against the Atlanta Falcons. And Kirk Cousins can win in primetime now. What the hell is going on? See, this is what this whole season, like Kirk Cousins, not only did he win in primetime, he looked fucking fantastic in primetime football. Yeah, I'm going to go with primetime Kirk Cousins. He is the man. Get the chains out. Look at the cute little cattail. Bijan is gonna. I think he's questionable to play, but he's gonna play. He's gonna do great.
it
Kyle
doesn't matter.
Pitts
They have
looks like he
Tyler
can play
Algier,
football.
so
Drake London looks like he can play football. I'm not sure if there's anybody on the Panthers that knows how to play football, so I'm going with Atlanta. Chubba, I do like.
I never thought I'd say this. Put Bryce Young back in the goddamn lineup. Put him back. At least, like, what? What?
Oh
like,
my god!
You know, this season is bad for the Panthers. If I, a Bryce Young hater, am saying for them to put Bryce Young back as the starting quarterback, like, at least, like, he looked good. He looked good in relief of Andy Dalton.
Yes, he did.
He did. Of Andy Dalton.
Maybe that's what they have to do. They play one quarterback for a quarter and then just put somebody in relief. They just switch back and forth every game. That's what they need to do.
Like what what world do we live in where Kirk Cousins is an elite primetime quarterback?
It was fantastic. It did not look real.
Like, this is what Falcons fans have been clamoring for since Matt Ryan left. Like, old Matt Ryan was at least able to get Kyle Pitts the ball. He was at least able to get his receivers involved. Like, we see his last year in Atlanta without Julio Jones, he was still a top 5 quarterback. Yeah, he was still pretty good. And then Kyle Pitts' rookie season gets 1,000 yards and hasn't had 1,000 yards since. But I think we're seeing Kyle Pitts actually be Kyle Pitts again. This is what Kyle Pitts fans and Kyle Pitts defenders have been clamoring for a quarterback to get Kyle Pitts the ball. And it's actually happening now. So I think the Panthers stand absolutely zero chance in this game at all. This is coming from a defeated Colts and a Panthers fan and a defeated Phillies fan and a Flyers fan whose season is already over and a Lakers fan whose team is going to disappoint. Yeah, they're down 4-3. So
okay, we got 2 3-win teams here. We have Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions going against Dak and the Dallas Cowboys. This is in Dallas. I think that might play a role here. I think Detroit's a better team, but I just see Dallas sneaking this one out. I think by the end, in 2 weeks, the Chicago Bears are going to be winning or leading the NFC North. I just need to say that because that's what I wanted in the beginning, and I just trying to go for a scenario that happens. And that only way that happens if Dallas wins this game. So I think Zeke looks good. He doesn't actually look good, but he's going to look good this game. CeeDee Lamb, he can look fantastic. He is a very puzzling player to me because I watched 5 minutes of somebody doing a review of CeeDee Lamb. 80% of the time it looks like he's covered and he's not playing very well. And then out of nowhere, he can just run a route like his Julio Jones or Calvin Ridley in their prime. So I'm going to go with Dallas. I think the Lions are the better team, though. I just think Dallas pulls this off.
Dallas is another one of those teams that has a lot of glaring issues that are getting covered up by one player. I think CD and Dak, well, not one, but two. I think CD and Dak are kind of covering up how awful this Cowboys offense actually is.
Yeah.
Because their running game is terrible. Their running game is absolutely horrible. Their offensive line, since they lost Tyron Smith, is really not good at all. It doesn't. Their defense is hurt right now, and even when they were healthy, they still didn't look great.
Yeah, it didn't look like last year.
Yeah, and it also doesn't help that I think DeMarcus Lawrence is out for a little bit right now.
Yes,
So
yes,
they're
yeah.
missing that pass rusher. Micah Parsons has been banged up. That secondary really doesn't look the same that it did last year. And
Well, because they're not getting those interceptions.
they're
Land
not.
doesn't.
They're
Yeah.
not. And
Did you
Trayvon Diggs
see?
isn't really getting interceptions right now.
I think it was on ESPN. It could have been NFL Network. They were showing the pass rush for Micah, and the amount of times that man gets held and does not get called.
Yeah.
Like
It's
he is like strangled by his neck by two people, and they're just like, "He's too good. You guys have to do it. We understand."
it's
Like,
the same thing with
like,
Brian Burns. Like Brian Burns is
yeah,
this elite pass rusher, but he doesn't get sacked because he gets doubled and triple teamed every single pass rush.
yeah,
Like it's the same way, but Micah Parsons is just otherworldly good. Like there's a reason why Micah Parsons is this very similar to Lawrence Taylor in the fact that
yeah,
he is a scary human, and he's also, if he has to drop back in coverage, he can do it. Like he can.
yeah. He
But
can. Yeah, I mean, he's fast, strong.
you're right,
Built.
100%. I think the Lions are absolutely the better team here. I think they're unquestionably better coached, even with Dan Campbell's
Yeah,
riskiness. I still think Dan Campbell, at his worst, is a better coach
I would
than
agree.
than
I
Mike
would agree.
than Mike McCarthy. But I think at some point the Dallas Cowboys are going to start to fall off, even and to a point where
Oh,
Dak and CD can't save it. And this team is holding on by a thread. They really haven't
yeah.
looked good at all this year. And I'm gonna have to go with Detroit only because
Okay.
Detroit might actually be the scariest team in the NFL right now because Jameson Williams is looking incredible. David Montgomery is
Yes.
unstoppable. Jameer Gibbs is unstoppable. Amon-Ra St. Brown is back. Sam Laporta is looking good now. This
Yes.
defense is looking insane. I think
I
that
think
there's
David Montgomery might be a top 5 running back in the NFL.
I
I
think he
like
is this
watch,
year.
yeah,
Yeah.
watching him play, he is incredible. Incredible.
He's like
He
he's
missed
like an actual like tank. Like he is a tank. Like you can't bring him
yeah.
down like at
And he's
all.
like nice and shifty too. Like his hips just like wiggle just enough to not get taken down.
You
I
know
love
what this
watching him.
reminds me of? This reminds me of Lendale White and Chris Johnson. That it reminds me of
Okay.
that. Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery are the current day Lendale White and
Okay.
Chris Johnson. Or if you want to go Larry Johnson and Jamal Charles in Kansas City, I'll even agree with you there. So
Yeah. I mean, I think the latter shows a little more of how much better Montgomery is because he's better than White was, but in my opinion.
that's true.
And CJ
That's true.
2K, he wasn't CJ 2K very long, but when he was a dangerous man.
Yeah.
This game is tough for me. One, I don't know if I want to watch it that much. I'm going to watch it. It's Sunday Night Football. You have to watch it, right? Like that is going to happen.
Yeah.
There's a couple of pieces here. Obviously, you got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, very fun to watch. T. Higgins had a great game. We have a quarterback that should not be good in here in New York, playing fairly decent, mostly because Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
Bad teams, though. I don't know who wins, but I have to pick Cincinnati just because who in their right mind is going to pick New York to win a game? Like they've won 2 games. I don't know how, but they have. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pick Cincinnati. They're going to be 2-4 and still be bad. So that's where I'm going. I'm going to pick Joe Burrow and his Eminem lookalikeness. So where do we got for you, Mr. TikTok Bayless?
Speaking of T. Higgins, did you see my TikTok I posted yesterday about the trade cut? Keep.
Yeah, I watched it.
And somebody's like, put some respect on T. Higgins' name. He should be up there with Chris Godwin. I'm like, do you see the seasons that T. Higgins is having compared to guys that I put ahead of him? You're not like T. Higgins is nice, but I'm also talking about just 2024.
Yeah.
My TikTok said at this point in the 2024 season, keep trade cut, not all around. But still, I still think I would take Chris Godwin over T. Higgins. But I think the Bengals win this. I think the Bengals schedule gets a lot easier now. They had a rough 5 games to start the season against the
All right,
Patriots, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Commanders, the Bengals. Or not the Bengals. There are the Bengals. The Patriots, Commanders,
I mean,
Chiefs,
they've
Ravens,
been losing because
Panthers.
of themselves, Bryce. So it's not that wrong.
That's true. I think there's a nice chance for the Browns to get back on track because the Browns are struggling right now. I think they lose against the Eagles, but the rest of their team, although they have the Ravens at the Chargers 2 weeks in a row. So
Yeah, so we're gonna get the Giants. They should win that game. I mean, I think people are
yeah,
gonna think this is gonna be a tough game. Who knows? I'm not excited
no,
about the
it
Browns.
won't. It won't.
Eagles, Raiders. I mean, Eagles, Ravens, Chargers, Steelers,
It's a
Cowboys.
rough
That's a
patch.
rough. That's a.
That's a rough patch.
And the way the Broncos are playing, I mean, they have like just only like maybe two gimme games left. The other ones are. It's gonna be a little bit of a fight.
I think the gimme games are the Raiders and maybe 3 because the Raiders, Giants, Bengals, or
Yeah.
Raiders, Giants, Browns. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. Even
They
the
get the Titans.
Browns may
They
not
do
be a
well on
gimme
this.
game. Even the Browns may not be a gimme game. I don't
No,
know.
I don't think the Browns
We'll
will
see.
be. I think they're both. I think the
No.
Browns will. I mean, it's a division game. They should be a little closer.
Yeah.
We have two teams here. I think after the last couple of weeks for Josh Allen, both these teams really do need a win. The Jets obviously more so, but Josh
Yeah.
Allen had a rough game. He went from MVP lock to is he a top 10 quarterback this season? Like pretty quickly, which is a pretty quick dive.
I mean, anybody. Josh
Ahead.
Allen's a top 5 quarterback at his worst. Josh Allen's a top 5 quarterback at his worst.
Did you see last week? Did you see it?
I did, but he's still Josh Allen. He's still Josh Allen. He's still Brett Favre had games where he looked of games where he looked absolutely horrible. But you can't deny that from like 97 to 2001, that man was the best quarterback in the league, 4 interception games or not.
I'm not disagreeing. But for Josh Allen to win MVP now, he's going to have to quickly turn this around, I think.
I don't think the Bills necessarily have to win this game. I think Josh Allen has to look really good. I think he has to be first 3 weeks of this season, Josh Allen. I think the Jets are going to win this game because they're going to be fiery. They're going to be mad after losing the way they did in London last Sunday. Yeah. So I think they're going to smack Buffalo right in the mouth, and they're going to be first in the AFC East after Monday. The winner of this game is first in the AFC East.
Ridiculous.
And we're not talking the Patriots. We're talking either the Bills or the Jets.
Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers, I feel like he needs this to kind of save face the last couple of weeks, but you're right. I think the Jets are going to win. That's where I'm going to go to, but it is crazy to think a 3-3 Jets team is going to be leading the division after firing their coach, if that is indeed what happens. So I'm excited to watch that happen. It is currently 3-0 at the time of this recording for the 49 Seahawks. Bryce's kitty is super excited. Wants to watch.
Hey, let go of my arm.
Let go of my arm. Log off here. We'll show everybody the cute little cat.
This is Tortellini.
Yep, there's Tortellini. Very cute.
Say hi. No, okay, that's fine. She didn't want to. She's camera shy, so.
Yeah. So, anything else for you before we log off of here?
I don't think so. I think that's it. This was a good episode. The Cam Newton thing was kind of cool because Cam Newton is back.
I'm going to watch it tomorrow. I'm going to watch it.
Sports world somehow, and I'd love to see it because he's Cam Newton and
Does that mean he's not going to be streaming his football games anymore that he's playing?
I think he still. No, I think he still will because Kurt Benkert does it too. Kurt Benkert is like a full-time Madden YouTuber now. Like he does like sports picks. If you use like the Sleeper Fantasy app, like he's all over the Sleeper Fantasy app with like the sports picks and stuff. but I think it's going to be pretty cool to see. As always, if you guys like this, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, do whatever the hell you want. I really don't care. But, you know, if you don't like our sports takes, then you can just mind your business. We'll see you guys
Thank you.
next week.